Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the T32 review. The American Tier 8 heavy tank. This tank kinda falls into the shadow of the T29, the Tier 7 American heavy tank, because more or less it is a T29. It's a bit faster, it has a bit better hull armor, a bit better turret armor. The gun has slightly faster reload, but that's about it. And even though it's a good tank, but it's not as good as the T21, the T29 was in Tier 7. My grind was coming to the end, and I wanted to get the Ace Tanker, so I pushed the Ace Tanker button, aka I enabled Encounter. So here's an Encounter battle, and this time it's not about the games being long, it's just the people in the Encounter tend to be so bad sometimes it's not even funny. And in this game, it wasn't about the fact that the game was long or anything, it was just the enemies and the teammates were so bad. Whatever. The T32, the speed of it, it goes around 30. Accelerates quite well. It turns like a bitch though. And with stock suspension, it's even worse. With stock suspension, the traverse rate is like on a mouse or something. So yeah, stock suspension is really bad. The top suspension is much better, but it still turns quite. It feels quite bulky when you turn it. The armor, the hull, pretty bad. Tier 8, it's decent, but when you get into Tier 9 or 10 games, they will always ban you if they don't hit your tracks or some shit like that. The side armor is pretty bad as well, so you can't angle much. You can angle a bit, but it usually doesn't help anyways. Like, it can help if like Tier 7s are shooting you like a IS or something like that, but when the enemy actually has more than 200 penetration, there's not much a T32 can do to bounce with the hull. If you get hull down, however, the weak spots on this tank is quite tiny. There are still some, like if you shoot below the gun mantlet, if you shoot the cupola, if you just shoot the top of the turret, if the T32 is showing like there's like one elevated part on the turret that you can shoot, if you can see it, and it will always penetrate. Like if you can maybe see it from here, like just behind the gun mantlet, there's like a one little elevated part of the turret that can easily be penetrated. And like, what the fuck are these guys doing? It's just Encounter at its finest. Like, holy shit. Yes, you will penetrate my turret from there. Very strong. The gun, in Tier 8, as I said, it's really good. Well, it's not really good, it's alright. The DPM is quite high for a Tier 8 heavy tank, but the penetration is probably the worst on any Tier 8 heavy tank, apart from the premium ones. I'm pretty sure that's true. Yeah, I think it is that way. Well, if it's not, I'm sure you will correct me in the comments. Reload's like 8 point something, as far as I remember. It's pretty good, the DPM is quite high. Tier 9, 10 games, the 200 penetration will feel pretty bad. You can still have good games, but you really need to know the armor layout on the enemy tanks, or you need to load the skill rounds, or you just need to shoot lower tier tanks in higher tier games, whichever one you can, I guess. In Tier 8 games, however, the gun is enough, the penetration is enough, so this tank can really dominate Tier 8 games. And it's probably my choice of a heavy tank in a Tier 8 game. In a Tier 10 game, I wouldn't prefer this one. I would prefer almost any other heavy tank, apart from some premium ones in Tier 10 game. Basically because of the penetration. But in Tier 8 games, as I said, it's really good. Equipment is rammer, bird stab, and coded optics. 400 meter view range plus coded optics means that you can really dominate and spot your enemies. If you go hull down, use coded optics, you can really dominate any open map in this game, which is really nice. So coded optics is my choice. You might go for ventilation if you like to play more standard style, rolling, close range, so on. But yeah, in this game, like, I had to reset from the middle of the map because the people who are next into the cap circle couldn't come back. But oh well, I'm fine with that. More XP for me, more reset points and shit. I got kinda fucked up by the Yak Panther 2 and the Lova, but still enough hit points. You can face hug most of the enemies as well, make them shoot your turret. They still can't ban you like in between your turret and the hull or some things like that, but you'll make it significantly harder for them if you face hack them instead of sitting like 10 meters from them and just letting them shoot your hull. For crew skills, Sixth Sense, repairs, snapshot, smooth ride, armor isn't bad because the gun tends to get damaged a lot if you go all down in close range or whatever range. If you go all down, you can't find your gun to get damaged quite a lot. Playstyle with this one is quite obvious, hull down or die basically, so you, you really don't have a lot of choice. In city maps you can try to side strafe, the tracks can eat some shots, but you can't count on your side armor because you don't have any. So side scraping can work if you have slight enough slim enough angles. And let's snipe. The accuracy on this gun is not great, and K1S is too OP for me to ban him, so yeah, not gonna happen. Well, let's try again. Yeah, maybe luck will be with this for me, and it was. Yay. And now we can speed this shit up, so we don't have to look at me driving across the map with the T32, even though it looks pretty now, actually, which is nice, but still. The grind on this tank is not horrible. This, as I said, as I mentioned, the stock tracks are really bad. The stock turret is pretty bad as well. So you want to get rid of the stock turret, and you want to buy the torsion bars to replace the suspension, so you can actually mount the turret and the gun. And I'm not even sure about the engines. I had the engines unlocked before I even got the tank, so the engines wasn't the problem for me, at least. You really want to get the suspension as well, though. You can't like go to the M13 without getting the suspension, because the traverse of the stock suspension is actually worse than a German super heavy tier 10s, so that's something to consider. So yeah, if you're looking for a strong tier 8 tank, or maybe tier 8 tank team battles, whatever it's called, this is one of the best ones for it, along with the 5100s, IS-3s, T69s. This is one of the most preferred tanks in the team battles. So yeah, if that's something you're into, this tank is definitely for you. If you're really just playing random battles, it's not that good. It's not as good. It's not as OP as the T29, that's for sure, but it's still pretty decent at what it does. Yay, 4K experience and a shiny medal. That's something first class. I think it was for defending your cap, like first class medal. That was the last. No, it wasn't the last one I needed. I need the one to get the cap points, but I'm not gonna get that anytime soon. Confederate as well, 4.1k experience, pretty good for an ace tanker on tier 8. But yeah, as I said, enable encounter equals get ace tanker badges. 4.9k damage, 1 point something k spotting, 5 kills. Couldn't gun 6 if I didn't roll low on the SU, but oh well. Whatever. As you can see, my team was shit and their team was even worse. Because encounter, it's very hard to get ace tanker on an encounter, especially in lower tier games with a tank as capable as the T32. 4k profit, which is quite nice for a non-premium. But yeah, that's enough for T32. It's a really nice tank. Not OP as fuck, but pretty good still. Some channel shit. I might do something like a live commentary on a gameplay, since I can record and play at the same time now. Next reviews that are coming up will be the E3. I'm starting to do Russian mediums as well as the Japanese. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned, and I will see you on the next one.